Did the letters on our rug. Oh my god, my rug is so disgusting. Right now I'm just finishing up my lesson plans for the week, and I personally like having to turn in lesson plans every Sunday or every Monday morning, just because it holds me accountable for the whole week. And when I was student teaching, I started doing weekly lesson plans like this, at least for the first week or two, and for the last 2 weeks I just kind of planned day by day, and I would get a little bit stressed out. So I kind of like having a plan of what I want to do for the week, because it just makes me feel better. I'm a planner. But just because I turn in these lesson plans to my principal, it doesn't mean I can't change them as I go. So of course, maybe someday, so for example, one day we don't finish an activity or a lesson, then I can always finish it the next day. It's not like what I have on my plans is what I have to do every day. It's pretty flexible. I think they just do this for accountability, because yeah, like, I don't know. This is the first school I've been at where teachers have to turn in lesson plans weekly. But again, I like it. I don't mind it. It's not for everybody, but I like it. So my kids are in music right now, and I just finished taking out the cards that I need for today's phonics lesson. And I briefly just went over the lesson. It is very scripted, so I did not plan much for it. Today I will. Depending on how it goes today, I'll decide whether I want to like tweak it a little bit or not. We were told to try to stay as true to it as possible, but we can change it a little bit. Right after I dropped off my kids at music, the fire alarm went off again. I guess they're having trouble with it, so they just told us to disregard it this time, and that they're trying to fix it. Yeah, I'm actually not that tired considering I only had like 4.5 hours of sleep. I'm probably gonna sleep so well tonight because I am going to the gym. I brought my gym clothes with me, and I'm gonna die at the gym. I haven't been there in a long time, and last time I was there it was really bad. So I'm sure I'll be super sore tomorrow, and I don't know how I'm gonna survive a day in kindergarten when I'm extremely sore. So we'll see how that goes. Also, today is the eclipse, so all of my kids except for one brought a home lunch, which is great because we are having lunch in the classroom. And for those kids that did not bring a lunch, are gonna get their lunch delivered, and it's just gonna be like a sack lunch, I think. And I kind of knew that student wasn't going to bring a lunch, just because I have not been able to contact her parents regarding lunch. It is finally afternoon recess time, and my kids really needed to go outside. We've been trying to do go noodle here and there just to kind of get the wiggles out, but it's been hard staying indoors all day up until now. So I'm glad they're out there. All of them are so tired. It was really hard for them to focus on pretty much anything. So yeah, I'm glad tomorrow is back to normal for the most part. We do have Dibbles testing tomorrow, so I'll just take them to the cafeteria, not the cafeteria, the gym, and they'll be tested there. In my district, I don't have to test them myself. People come and test them for me. So yeah, we'll do that tomorrow at 9 a.m. So almost right after special. Oh, we don't have specials tomorrow, never mind. So yeah, like, it's funny because the eclipse here in Arizona was not that big of a deal, to be honest. I didn't really notice it. Like, I noticed things were like a little bit darker than usual, but not very much. So my kids, when we were finally gonna go outside, I was like, oh, are we gonna go see the eclipse, the silver eclipse, instead of saying solar eclipse? And I'm like, no, it's over. I was like, what? It's over? When did it happen? Oh, my nails look horrible. I have to take these two off. But yeah, it was just funny how they were expecting something huge and extravagant, and it was really not anything different. Okay, so I just finished working on this for tomorrow. For science, we are focusing on the 5 senses. So tomorrow we're going to focus on sound. So we are playing this match the sound game. Today we kind of introduced it a little bit, so I would play a sound and they would tell me what that sound was from. So I made 4 slides. There are 16 options in total, so that's one for each one of my students. And so yeah, so I haven't figured out how to make it work with it in slideshow mode. So I think I'm just going to have it like this on my Promethean board. A student's going to come up and choose a color. They're going to play it. So obviously that's the ocean, and they're going to drag the picture on top of where it belongs. So then this one, that one's a storm. You're going to drag it there, there. I do have 5 options, but only 4 sounds, just so they can think about it and not just guess like, oh, you know, that one's the last one there, so that one goes there. It's not really working out. And then I went... It works. Yay, it works. I'm not a fan of the way it looks. If I had more time, I would definitely change the font and make it look more aesthetically pleasing, but I'm just happy that I can drag pictures to the sound and then easily change the slides. This is amazing, and I'm going to make more of these for sure. If I can find a way where the sounds are not copyrighted and the pictures are not copyrighted, I'll probably end up putting this on my TPT store if you guys are interested. If not, I'll just probably make a video on how I made this. So, well, I'm so excited. Okay, so now I'm just gonna clean up a little bit. My back table is a complete and utter disaster, so I'm gonna clean that up. My desk, surprisingly, is not that bad today. I think the cube organizer is definitely helping. So I'm gonna clean up, get some things together to take home, and then I'm gonna head out to the gym where I'm gonna die, because I'm only running on like 4.5 hours of sleep. So yeah, I'm just happy. Like, I know it sounds like I don't want to go, but I am excited to go because I used to love that place so much. And I stopped going because I got really busy with student teaching and I started making excuses. Hopefully I can get back to it. If you are in the Tucson area and you're looking for a gym that provides like accountability and has a ton of great trainers and great people, go to SWAT Fitness on North La Jolla and you will love it. Good morning, it's Wednesday. I did not vlog yesterday just because I was really tired and I was really sore. So from Monday you saw, sorry, I'm trying to check my computer, you saw that I went to the gym and it was really hard, and I knew I was gonna be sore the next day. I'm always sore there because it never gets easier, but I was really sore and it really sucked. Also, I woke up in not the best mood because of a mean comment on YouTube. So if you follow me on Instagram, then you would know what that comment was because I did post about it. I did end up deleting the post shortly after just because I didn't want to have a spotlight on the negative comment, but if you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw it. I'm also not filming my outfits this week just because I'm not crazy about my outfits this week. I do like my outfit today. Sorry, there's one of my little boys outside. I do like my outfit today, but I didn't like it yesterday. Guys, so it is Wednesday. It's already after school. It's 3:32. Today was early out, so my kids got out at 1 o'clock. I did have a meeting at 2:15, and that was just on how to make emergency sub-plans and how to call out if there's an emergency. So that was that. My team teachers went to that meeting with me. They also wanted to know more about emergency sub-plans, so it was kind of nice to be all together there. I haven't done too much since the meeting ended. As you can see, I don't know if you can see behind me, it is really dark outside. You can't see that well, but it's really dark outside. It's about to rain, and yeah. So I'll show you what I had been working on right now. So for behavior, I have these tickets. I do use Class Dojo, so at the end of the day, I call each student over one at a time. We look at how the class did as a whole, and then we did at how they did as a whole. So if they get 100, they get this ticket, and I worked on this. So this is where they're gonna put their tickets. I have, each one of my students has a pocket. Before this, I just had them put them in their name tags, but that wasn't working out really well. So this is gonna be way better because it's super easy. They slide right in Oh, you couldn't see that. But they just slide right in, and they can take them off too if they want to, because they are Velcro. That's from the Dollar Tree. And yep, every single student has one, and I do have more room at the bottom if I ever get new students, which doesn't seem like it anytime soon. I also laminated a few things. So these are just posters from our Saxon Phonics curriculum, and our team members just took a picture of the posters because the posters are literally huge. If I were to put them here, they would probably cover like these 2 rows and half of this. So they are huge, and I don't really have anywhere to put those posters. We just printed them out smaller, and this is the lion. I forgot what they're called. Oh, this is Leo the lion, and then Riley the raccoon. So these are just for reminders of how the students should be sitting when they're learning about these are just kind of reminders of how students should be sitting when they are learning about phonics. So myself and my team don't really expect our students to sit this way all the time, because I personally cannot sit this way for a long period of time, so I can't expect my students to do so. So we're kind of lenient on this. I also worked on this last night. So my kids really like Pete the Cat right now because we had a Pete the Cat week last week. So as you can see, there are letters hidden around the picture. And then I just have the letters that are hidden right there, so kids would look for them with a magnifying glass. Like so. And when they find them, they'll just color in the letter. My cooperating teacher, no, I'm not student teaching anymore. My mentor teacher let me use some of her centers that were like this, but with different clip art. And I liked it a lot. My kids liked it a lot too, but they went through them pretty fast. She only had 4 options. These are 6 options, so I still want to make a little bit more of them. But these are going to be for next week because I don't want them to go through them all this week, just for 2 days, if that makes any sense. So I just got the clip art. From Google, and then I just copy pasted to PowerPoint, and I just hid the little letters with like text boxes, and that was that. It was really easy. I'm going to look over my phonics lesson for tomorrow. It has been a little bit of a learning curve to get used to Saxon Phonics. Student teaching, I used Hardcore Trophies, which I liked. It had a very nice flow to it, and I feel like with Saxon, the flow of it is not as smooth as I would like it to be. So I'm trying to get used to it. And it's not just me that feels this way, it's also my team. So at least I'm glad I'm not the only one that feels that way. So I'm going to go over my lesson for tomorrow and then prep a little bit, take out the worksheets that go along with it, and get my morning work out. So I'm going to leave in a few minutes, and I'm not feeling very well, but I'm going to go to the gym today, just because I feel a lot better when I go to the gym. Give me 1 second, I have to put you down. There you go. But as you can see, my nose is kind of red because I've been sneezing quite a bit. I've been coughing here and then, but not too much. It's mostly sneezing, so I don't know if they're allergies or I'm getting sick. My nose is itchy, so I think they're allergies. But before I leave, I'm going through my Saxon Phonics because we have sets of everything, like every worksheet, and there are 24 in each set. However, I only have 16 students, so that means I have 8 left over. There are other schools in our district whose kindergarten classes are at 25, so they need more worksheets. So they asked all of us to go ahead and go through all 140 folders and take out the ones that we don't need. We are allowed to keep 2, so one for ourselves and then another one in case we get another student later on. But it's just so tedious because I literally have to go through every folder. It's 140 of them, and some folders have more than one worksheet in there. So I have to go and count 6 of them, take them out, paperclip them, make sure they're in order, and then go to the next folder. We did have maybe like a week to do this, but being a first-year teacher, I am spending a lot of time in my classroom after school just prepping for the next day. Taking out worksheets that I don't need has not been like high on my priority list, which sucks. There are other teachers that have kids with special needs in their classrooms because we are an inclusive district, so when there are kids with special needs in their classrooms, such as like severe autism or just like any other type of special need, they have a one-to-one person. We call them PIs. I'm not really sure what that stands for. So those teachers, what they've been doing, if their PI student is doing pretty well, then they have the PI person go through the folders and take them out. I don't have a PI student, so I don't have a PI person, so I can't do that. And then I only have my aide 4 days out of the week for about 30 minutes at the very end of the day. So maybe I'll have her do this tomorrow and see how far she gets, but I don't think she'll get very far because I've been doing this for about 15 minutes and I've only had 5 folders done. So, and I have to have them done by Friday. So I guess tomorrow I will not go to the gym and I'll stay here late, just going through worksheets, counting them, and paper clipping them, because that's what I have to do. Hey guys, so it is Thursday afternoon, it's 3 o'clock, and I'm still in my classroom. I finished making copies for next week's morning work, and I know I had said I wanted to do morning tubs, but I haven't found the time to make like good morning tubs. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but my nose is super stuffy because I don't know if I'm getting sick or they're allergies. I kind of want to say they're allergies because my eyes are also itchy every once in a while, but I've been sneezing so much today. I haven't been coughing. I just jinxed that. I hadn't been coughing. I hadn't been coughing all day. I was coughing a lot yesterday, but again, I thought it was allergies because my eyes were itchy, and that's usually what happens when I have allergies. What was I talking about? But I think I'm just gonna do like morning worksheets for morning work. Morning work is really short. We only do it for about like 10 minutes, if that, because our morning is pretty short again, because we do have specials at 8:30, so we come in here at 7:30 and then we have to be out the door by like 7:55, so we don't have that much time. And I also like to fit in morning meeting and calendar in that time. So I have this bundle from happykids.com, and it's just like a write the room bundle. So it has one for A, B, C, D, and all of them. So this bundle for each letter has the write the room for every letter, the recording sheet, as well as practice sheets. So it has handwriting and letter recognition and all those things. So I think it's really good for morning work, especially because the worksheets that Saxon Phonics has right now are not very good. They take like at most 2 minutes to complete, and they're just like a full paper and there's not much to them. So having that practice in the morning, I think is gonna be good for them. Today was a really good day, and I felt like phonics went a lot better than it went the previous days this week. I just felt like it was more meaningful, but also because I added more stuff to it, I just didn't go strictly by the script, if that makes any sense. So I did hit every point that the lesson asked me to hit, but I added videos and movement and dancing and silly voices and all that stuff. So there's a part in the script that says to show them the L card, which is literally just like an index card with the letter L. There's not much to it. It's kind of boring. And it asks them to identify the letter and identify the sound. So we were doing that, but we were doing it with silly voices. So I'm like, okay, now say it with a robot voice, and they would like act like a robot, or say like you're mad, say like you're sad, say it in a whisper voice, say it like a soldier, and so on and so forth. And they loved it, and they feel like they got it more because of that, as opposed to just saying like, okay, what letter is this? What sound does it make? And we're done. Yesterday the lesson kind of went over vowels and consonants, but not very much, and I feel like that's also a lot to throw to the kids. Yesterday we talked about how many letters are in the alphabet. We talked about vowels and consonants. We also talked about the letter L and what sound it makes. We talked about how to write the letter L. We talked about same and different, and I feel like that is just a lot to take in 30 minutes. So some of my kids did not know what consonants were yesterday at all, even though we kind of talked about it on Tuesday and Monday as well. So I asked them, okay, so who can tell me what kind of letters we have? There are 2 types. What are the 2 types? And a lot of them were like A or B, or just yelling out letters in general. But there was this one little boy that raised his hand very confidently and said, substitute! And I'm like, it is a big word, but it's not that one. Can we try again? And he kept trying to say substitute for the types of letters. At least he remembered that it was a big word. However, none of them remembered what a consonant or a vowel was. So we did watch a video. We watched L as a consonant video. So as soon as I was saying it, so when the video said like, oh, L is a consonant, I'm like, oh, L is a consonant. And then they would like think, oh, L is a consonant. So at the end of the video, they were able to tell me what a consonant was. And then we watched the vowel bat video and we danced to it. And they were able to tell me the vowels after that one too. I still have to stay and take out all the worksheets because I have to turn them in tomorrow. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I don't know how much vlogging I'm gonna do right now because of that. Oh, I do want to show you something. So today, in the morning when we were coming in, I was saying good morning to all my students, and then one of my students is like, oh, Miss Sandoval, I have something for you in my lunchbox. And I'm like, in your lunchbox? Okay. And he had this, it's like pumpkin bread, I think, and with this little note that says thank you, handmade note, super cute, and in the back it says thank you for a great start to a new year. And it was from his mom, so that was really, really nice. It totally made my day, and I love it. It is 5 o'clock and I'm still in my classroom. I finished with box number 1, which had 69 lessons, and then I'm gonna do the next one. So essentially I'm halfway there. I'm just so over it. I'm just so over it. It's very tedious work that I don't want to do. I don't think any teacher would want to do that. I would much rather spend my time planning or straightening out my classroom. I also had a parent message me on Dojo. I am using Class Dojo, as I've mentioned before, and the way I do it is if they have 80% or higher for the day, that means it was a good day. So a lot of my kids are always above 80%. The lowest one I've gotten was 83%, which is still a really good day. And I try to avoid giving a lot of negative points unless it's really necessary, or unless I've asked the kid to correct the behavior more than one time, then I'll give the negative point. The negative points are only one negative point. I do have one that's -2, and that's for not being kind. So I think I gave that once, and that it's okay. It's only 2 points. For my positive behaviors, they go up to 3 points. So it always outweighs the negative. So I had a parent message me on Dojo telling me that she needed some clarification, because when her daughter goes home and they ask her how her day went, she always gets upset because she has red marks. And she never gets upset here when she has red marks, because or negative points, because I do meet with them at the end of the day. We go over the class report for the day, and then we go over their individual report. If they have any red marks, we talk about why they had those red marks, and we talked about when they got those red marks in case they didn't know it was for them. When we talk about that, we talk about why they had it, and then we talk about what they were supposed to be doing. Then we make a plan on how we're gonna improve that the next day. After that, we go over all the positives. So I'm like, so if little Susie had a red mark for not following directions quickly, then we can go over the positives, and I can be like, look, all these other times you were following directions quickly, or oh, hey, look, you were working so hard, you had 3 for working hard, or you got an all-star sticker, which is 3 points. That is fantastic. So I always try to end it with a positive. It doesn't really faze her that she has red marks, and she only has like at most 2 red marks. And I think this week she's only had 3 for the entire week, so that means she's been doing really good. Even with the red marks, or negative points. I'm sorry, I don't know what to call them. The parent called them red marks, so I'm calling them red marks now, I guess. So, but now, like, after seeing this message, I remember her, I think she apologized to me earlier this week for having a red mark, and she only had 1 that previous day. So I was like, no, it's okay, don't worry about it. Like, we all make mistakes. It's okay to have red marks here and there. Like, they'll just tell us what to work on, and I didn't think anything of it. But she did tell me that her dad told her she had to apologize to me because they don't like when she is bad in the classroom. Which it doesn't mean she's being bad in the classroom, but maybe I didn't communicate it with the parents that having red marks is not a bad thing. That having red marks is not a bad thing. But then I also think this student's parents did not come to parent night, which is when I talked about this. So this was my response. Hi, little Susie does well during the day. We strive for our percentage as individual students to be 80% or above. We strive for that twice. Oh. Having 80% or higher for the day is considered a good day in our class. She only gets a couple of them at most in a day. These couple of red marks a day is not a bad thing. I try to tell my students that we're not perfect and that we're not always going to have 100% days because it is okay to make mistakes. These red marks will indicate behaviors that we will work on for the next day. At the end of each day, I meet one-on-one with every student and we go over the report. So like I just said, and I explained that process. And then I said, I checked little Susie's report for the week and she only has 3 marks this week. I checked little Susie's report for the week and she only has 3 red marks this week. This does not mean she was misbehaving. Yesterday she had 1 to work on listening bodies. Listening bodies in our class means we're sitting down with our legs crossed, our voices are off, sorry, our listening ears are on, and our eyes are on the speaker. This particular time, little Susie was laying down on the carpet. The other 2 red marks were to work on following directions quickly. In our class, we have a freeze signal. When they hear it, they are to freeze and look at me for directions. These 2 times Emma has frozen. These 2 times little Susie has frozen the way she's supposed to, but goes back to talking or doing her activity before I get the chance to finish giving directions. These 2 behaviors are things we will work on for the coming days. All in all, little Susie is doing a great job, and I can see that she's trying really hard to be good at what she is. I would just say focus on the percentage she ends the day with instead of red marks. If she ends the day with an 80% or higher, praise her. That means she had a good day. I will talk to her tomorrow to make sure she understands that if she gets a few red marks, it is okay, and that it is okay to make mistakes. If you have any questions, please let me know. So that is what I answered with, and she hasn't seen it, so I'm kind of nervous to see what she says because this is my first email from a parent regarding my behavior system. So I hope I explained it right, and I really hope that they're not focusing on the bad points, because I don't want to call them bad points because they're not. They're just my red points are worded positively. So instead of saying little Susie was laying down on the carpet, I say little Susie needs to work on listening bodies. Instead of saying little Susie was being mean, I say little Susie needs to work on being kind. So I try to word it positively in hopes that parents would see that. And I did talk about that during parent night, but again, this parent did not go to parent night. So there's that. But yeah, I really hope they don't focus on the points because everyone makes mistakes. Not everybody's going to have a 100% day, and if they are, that's a great thing. But if they don't and they have more than 80%, that's a good day. They're little kids, of course they're not going to follow directions all the time. Another reason why I think having the red marks is okay and it's actually useful is because I'll be able to see patterns. So if little Susie is only getting red marks at the end of the day, maybe it's because she's tired. Or if she's only getting red marks during the morning, then I don't know if she's tired. There's going to be a pattern and there's going to be a reason. So me as a teacher, I can look at that and try to fix it or work or make a plan for that little girl or little boy, if that makes any sense. So it's just another way of documentation, I guess. I don't know. But again, if you're a parent and you didn't come to parent night, you wouldn't know this. And I did try to put that in my parent handbook, but it's so much different writing it on paper than actually talking about it and answering questions if anyone had any questions. So I'm gonna try to, what am I gonna do? I want to make a handout, but again, it's not the same thing as to talk about it as to read about it. So I'm thinking maybe I should make a video and send it to them, but not on my YouTube channel. Just explaining my thinking and reasoning behind this system. I'm finally heading out. There are only 3 cars in the parking lot, and one of them is mine. The other one is my team teacher's, and then the other one I don't know. So I've been here for a long time. It is 6:40 and I haven't started planning for tomorrow just yet. Hey guys, so it is Friday and it's the end of the day. It's well after the end of the day. It's 3:31 and I look like a hot mess. Like my necklace is all tangled up. I'm wearing my glasses and yeah. So basically, whatever. Basically, I haven't been vlogging a whole ton this week and it was just a really busy week, I want to say. And then when trying to go back to the gym, that really didn't make it any better, but I still want to go back, so I'm gonna go back for sure on Monday, even though I'm probably gonna regret it the next day. But I thought I should just come on here and give you like a weekly rundown of how I did things this week. Overall, it was a really good week and I can't complain. There was not any major issues, just very small issues that I'm okay with dealing, and I'm just really happy. I love my class so much, and I know I've said this before, but I love it. I actually cannot remember for the life of me what we've done throughout the week. I just know we have been learning about the letter L. We started our Saxon Phonics this week, so the first letter we're learning is L. Then next week we're learning O. So I guess that alone was kind of a learning curve. For student teaching, I used hardcore trophies, and that is all I've really known. That is what all the schools that I was doing my practicum in used as well, so that's pretty much all I've known. So the district that I'm working at uses Saxon, and it's the first year that they're using Saxon, so it's really been like a learning curve trying to implement it, not only for me but all the other teachers in my team. At first they told us that we had to teach it with fidelity, so that means pretty much read the script. If you don't know what Saxon is, it's a script. It's a script. And I still kind of think this. I think that it doesn't flow very well. So by that I mean it will have, so for example, it will have the kids at their tables looking at their alphabet strips, or their alphabet strips or handwriting strips, whatever they call them there, and we'll say the alphabet, we'll recognize vowels and consonants, and then we'll talk about the letter L, then we'll talk about more handwriting, and then more handwriting strips, and it's just, in my head, it doesn't really flow very well. I feel like it's very choppy. But the first 2 days, actually the first 3 days, the first 2 days of Saxons, I try to follow it to the script, because that's what we were asked to do, and that did not work for me. I felt like it was very dry. I talked to other teachers in my team and they also felt the same way. I also talked to someone else on Instagram. I think she's from Wisconsin, I want to say, and she's also a kindergarten teacher, and she also uses Saxon, and her team feels the same way that my team feels about Saxon. I'm not saying it's a bad curriculum, it's just very dry on its own, and it's also kind of like very dated. So let me show you what I mean by that. I think it was maybe yesterday or the day before. Yep, I think it was the day before. I talked about the posters that comes with Saxon, and they are humongous. They're literally probably like almost as big as I am. Okay, I'm not being exaggerated. Probably for like my knee up. That's how big they are. And there's 3 of them that we were supposed to have up, but we're not really doing that. So instead what we're doing is we just took a picture of them, made them smaller, and this is what we're gonna have posted, because having this huge poster of just a line sitting down is not gonna be beneficial for the kids. Like, it's not really a resource they can use for anything else other than sitting down, and that is not how I expect my kids to sit down all the time either. I'm okay with movement, I'm okay with a few wiggles here and there, but I don't want them to sit this way all the time. I cannot expect them to, because I cannot sit this way all the time either. We also have this poster. It's how they're supposed to be writing, and then this one, so it's like a lefty and a righty. So if you look at the clip art, it's very, it looks old. It looks like something from the 70s. So the whole curriculum has that vibe going on, in my opinion. So the first 2 days were rough, but Wednesday and Thursday went so much better because I added more stuff, since I found out that some of the teachers were adding stuff to supplement. They were hitting every point that they were supposed to, but they were adding things to it as well. So for example, I showed the having fun teaching, I think, video on the alphabet, because the lessons were asking like, oh, how many letters are in the alphabet, and they didn't know. I mean, I can't expect them to know that right away. So we watched a few alphabet videos, and we counted the letters, not on the handwriting strips, because the way they want us to do it is like they all sit down at their tables, they all use their pointer finger, and we all do it together. And it's kind of hard, especially like because you lose that proximity. So they're all their tables. I can see some of them that are close to me, and I can see they're doing it the way they're supposed to, but I can't see all of them. So we did do that, but we did other things. So like we pointed to our alphabet that we have on our wall, so the one that I made that's on TBT, we pointed to that one. We counted. We also counted the letters on our rug. Oh my god, my rug is so disgusting. There's like food everywhere. Then we also watched another having fun teaching video on the letter L, and it's just L as a consonant, which worked out very well. I caught them quite often today singing the Vowel Bat song as they were working on other things, which was really cute. They also sing the color songs quite often as well, especially the red song that goes like R-E-D, red, R-E-D, red, I can spell red. They love that song. Today we also finished our color books, so we did all the colors. We did red, orange, yellow, green, blue, pink, purple, brown, black, and white. We did not do gray. A kid asked me why we didn't do gray. I just didn't have gray. But they love their color books. They've been wanting to read them to the class after they finish them, which I think is great. But then everybody wants to read them, so it's kind of hard just picking a few. So I am going to make popsicle sticks with names on them, so after people have read their book, they're going to be out for the writing, I guess. I have been using Class Dojo's new toolkit, so it has a random picker thing. So that is great, but then you can't, which I use quite often, but you can't take out names that have already been picked. And if you can, I haven't figured out how. So I feel like popsicle sticks will help a lot with a lot of things in our class. Like I was saying, they love the color books, and they've been asking to do a rainbow book, so they want to have a page for each color and just call it the rainbow books. So I figured, why not? They like it, and I don't think we're still quite ready to get into journal time. Like we tried it a little bit this week, but it didn't go great. So we'll do one more color book, and then we'll ease into it journals. For literacy centers, they went a lot smoother this week as opposed to last week. I did have kids more engaged this week than last week, like actively participating, actively learning. I think I only had an incident once where we had the magnifying glasses, and instead of actually looking for the letters, they were just spinning the magnifying glasses around, or they're just like putting it in their mouth or the eye, which I get, it's fun to do, but that's not what we're supposed to do. And I only had 2 students do that, and I didn't have any other students do that. This week I was having trouble with my Kindles. They weren't connecting to the Wi-Fi whatsoever. They were connecting fine on Monday, but after Monday they were just not connecting, no matter how many times I restarted them or how many times I tried to connect to another network, and it just wouldn't happen. And then I was telling one of my team teachers about it, asking her if she had trouble with her, so she said no. So she's like, why don't you bring it in here and see if it connects in here, and if it does, put in a ticket, because there must be something wrong with the network in your classroom. And sure enough, as soon as I walked into her classroom with my Kindle, it connected. Luckily, that was a really easy fix. They just had to reset it, and it was fine. But I do have to put in a ticket order for my board, because I have the oldest version. Before school started, I had a training on it, and the teacher that was doing the training was showing us all these cool things you can do with the Promethean board, like copy and drag, and just a lot of cool things. So I was really excited to start doing that on mine. But the features that she showed us on hers were not on mine or another new teacher's board, which was really weird. Turns out we were using the trial version, and even though I could have fixed it myself, it didn't let me, because for some reason I don't have access to like update anything on my computer, so I have to put in a ticket for that. We did a one craft, and it was a lion today, so we're gonna make an alphabet book. I'm gonna just cut out like letters each week, so next week's gonna be the O, and we're gonna make an octopus. Yesterday I was talking about my behavior system and about how a parent was concerned or whatever, and I read you what I replied to her, but she still hasn't seen it, and that little girl did not come to school today. So I don't know what's happening. I hope she's okay, and I hope that the parent understood what I was trying to say and she got the point. Today I laughed quite a bit. It was a really good day. So we were walking to lunch and I was talking to one of my kids and we were just talking, having a regular conversation, and all of a sudden there's a butterfly, very pretty butterfly, flying towards us, and he goes like, ah! And I'm like, okay, like, it's fine, it's just a butterfly. It's like, oh, it's a butterfly? Oh, that's okay. And then he just like kept talking about what we were talking before, but it was so hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing. And then just the fact that he was fine after I told him it was a butterfly. He's like, yeah, they don't bite. And I'm like, that's right, they don't bite. The same kid had forgotten his water bottle here yesterday, so he had 2 water bottles today. So he ended up filling them both up, and he was trying to drink out of both at the same time, and it was just really funny. Like, totally made my day. Something else that we did today, I think I talked a little bit about it yesterday, was kind of like a science lesson. We talked about what scientists do and how they learn about things. So then we also talked about how we learn about things and how we can touch and we can smell and we can hear and we can see and all that stuff. Limes and lemons, and I passed out, I think I first passed out a lemon to each person, and we were just gonna touch them. So we just touched them. We talked about in our tables what they felt like, and then we came back as a class and we made a chart on what they felt like. Then we went back to our tables and we smelled them, and then did the chart again. And then we listened to see if we could hear anything. Of course we wouldn't. Of course we couldn't. So we wrote that down. And then, of course, we were seeing it the whole time. And then we tasted it, and it was hilarious just watching their faces. They all loved doing that, even though it was like super sour. They loved it. So we did that for lemons, limes, and Lay's chips because L. And at the end of it, we just talked about what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it. And one of the kids is like, yeah, this just started my day. And I'm like, what's that? And he's like, yeah, it just started my day. And I'm like, oh, you mean it made your day? He's like, yes.